Alright, so I'm going to be doing a any percent tutorial for Splinter Cell Blacklist. Wait, I should... Okay, so... Alright, yeah, let's just get into it. It's going to start in Safehouse.
What do we have in Benghazi?
This game is sort of like a... The any percent in this game is like an NG Plus run. You should use the save file that I have in the resources section on speedrun.com for this game. And that will give you the current layout that you see me using here, or the loadout rather, which has all the necessary gadgets, and it's in English with the best armor set and weapon set for this run, in my opinion. So you're going to start the first mission on realistic. This is solely for the purpose of skipping a tutorial. I'm actually going to bring life split up because life split will show the mission order, which I actually do not have memorized. I literally just look at live split every time. So you should be using the mission loadout, and it should look like what you see there on the right. And you can start the mission. Timing starts when the game fades in from black. So I'm just going to split as I normally would. So there you go.
We've got a problem.
Want to look between these two pots for the perfect line. This starts with a pretty boring walking section.
I just got here. It doesn't look good. I'm seeing militia.
Not much you can do here.
I'm entering the plaza. Militia's blocking the front door access.
Sam, you need me to change
just try to cut corners without bumping into them.
Southwest corner of the plaza.
Copy. Moving now.
Grim, keep trying to reach our contact. Let me know if you get through.
Copy.
And if anyone in the chat has questions, of course, feel free to ask. This is fairly straightforward. Just gonna walk here, which will start a cutscene. After this point, the run pretty much officially starts. Now, since you're on realistic, the enemies in this are no laughing matter. You want to use your sleep gas grenade, which is bound to X if you're using my keybinds, and you're going to throw this between them as you run through. If they get any shots off, it's going to aggro the guys in the next room. Be sure to open this door with spacebar to open it quietly, otherwise these guys will aggro early. Break through here. Now right where that is, you're going to get a checkpoint, and what you want to do there is pause the game and set it to rookie. And so my inputs for that, I use keyboard, is escape, down arrow S to get to settings, so boom boom, enter, left, hit escape twice, and then continue. Like that. And now you'll reload right here with the on the lesser difficulty. You can tell that you're back on rookie if you have 5 sleeping gas grenades. So now you're going to throw in between them here. That's a really good meme because that was not a sleeping gas grenade, so that is what not to do for this section. So you gotta change it there. Toss one between them. And now, what you want to do is if you do kill people in this run, you want to hip fire, which means you don't aim down sights, because that is very slow. And killing those two guys there will cause this room of people not to be aggroed, which is really good, because if they are aggroed, they'll be like blocking your path sometimes as you enter the area. But you don't have to worry about them at all. You can just run by. Now what you want to do is clear this room of 4 guys. There's one directly in front, 2 back there, and 1 on the left. And as soon as you do that, walk up to this guy and press space.
Roger that.
Roger that.
Roger that.
Pull the blueprint on the police station. It's not good. Local militia took it over and fortified it.
So, most of this run will consist of running through levels, tanking damage with heavy armor, and using smoke grenades to hide yourself from the enemy, so their shots are not as accurate, as well as to manipulate their AI. So there's a guy here, you can take him out if you want, but I usually just skip him and mash Q, because taking him out is slow. You want to throw 1 grenade right in front of this box here, and 1 over there. These are smoke grenades. They'll prevent the enemy from knowing where you are. Keep in mind, since I am kind of slowing down to do the tutorial, it might not give me the consistent enemy position that I'm used to. You want to run up here, hold left until you do this first jump, and do those inputs, like forward, left, shifts.
High-value target. Single digits on
Spam jump.
Langley's most wanted.
So now you're
Capture
here.
him, we'll arrange the pickup.
Let's ignore this guy. We're coming up on the first trick of the run, which is called a flash drop. This will be done pretty... It's done a fair amount in this run. And so the idea is you have the sticky camera, which is bound to Z. And what the sticky camera does, as you'll notice when I throw it on the left, it says sticky cam, hold to deactivate. But if you press the gadget button again, which I'm using middle mouse for, by the way, you can look through it, and you'll notice it says press E for flash detonation, which acts as a flashbang. And so what we're going to do with this is we're going to crawl out this window here.
Head down towards street level.
You'll notice if I press Q to go down, it will not let me. However, the flash drop remedies this. What you want to do, in general, is usually aim down left or down right. I prefer down left. Throw the gadget, spam the gadget button, and then mash E to detonate it. As long as Sam is within range of the flashbang, you'll see what happens. And he returns to his idle animation, allowing him to drop off any ledge, like that. From here, I hold left to go down here, and then hold forward to very slowly walk off. It's very important that that's slow. And that was sarcasm. So you want to get down to this ground level. And now we get here. You want to throw one sleeping gas in front of this dog. You should have 3 left by this point.
Heads up, Sam. The police station's just around the corner.
There's going to be 2 guys on this other side of this wall, and sleep gas actually penetrates through walls, so we'll knock both of them out, and then throw one between these 2 guys here. This guy on the right will on occasion path over here somewhere. You want to knock him. You want to shoot him down with hip fire if that's the case. Because if you take aggro before getting to around this section here, it'll spawn like 4 guys in this little room. And they're very annoying for getting through here. So anyways, continue.
Sam, what's your status?
I'm inside, making sure I'm not followed.
You're forced to walk through this room, unfortunately.
Location.
Best bet is a secure interrogation room. Top floor, south side.
Brakes, pull out. Pick up the van and rendezvous at extraction.
Opening the doors quietly and busting through them is roughly the same speed. You're going to make your way up to here. You're going to open this door, which will trigger a cutscene. I'm not going to skip it because I won't explain this. What you're going to do is hold forward, mash jump, and once you break into the room, throw a sleep gas grenade right at your feet.
I've located.
Or right under the chair, I guess. And it'll knock everyone out and start this bit. Now here, this is an interesting section because if you draw enemy aggro at all, as in if they get a shot off and start combat, it will it'll add an extra section to the end of this map where you have to sort of fight off waves of enemies, and that's really slow. So to avoid that, what we're going to do is take out the enemies without being detected. And the safest way to do that, if you're not confident in your aim, which I am not here, is to mark targets with the Alt key and then execute them with Control.
Let's go.
So mark, and then execute them. You only want to do it to these 2 guys here. Next, I switch to the sleeping gas darts, which you can cycle through the different ammunition types by pressing the button, which is 3. Shoot one at this guy's feet, and then walk to the window. And that concludes the first mission. And I always split when the scoring screen comes up and the timer pauses.
It's cleared.
So as you can see, this is probably the record pace.
Really fucking.
So for selecting missions, by the way, you're going to mash space to get into SMI, hover the cursor down at the bottom where this button is, and then click it as soon as it's available, which will show all the missions. And then you have to know where the mission is at, then you can click it and enter, etc.
You know, I was asleep.
You want to mash space,
I need to
then
be on the
enter,
ground as soon
then
as
space, and then when your cursor appears in the middle, mash escape. That's the most efficient way to mash through the pre-mission menus. So now here you want to shoot these guys in this order.
Clearing your approach. Target eliminated. He's gone.
If you shoot them out of order or take too long and get detected, then you'll have to restart this section, and you'll feel really bad and you will hate the game. So it's better to take your time than to have to restart.
Copy that, Briggs. Nice shooting.
Yeah. Alright. So now, I'm gonna ready a sticky camera. And this section is interesting.
They're meeting in a house upriver.
So
Charlie, I need recon.
this is another out of bounds bit. This is actually a proper out of bounds. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to go to a certain place and flash drop. Now when you flash drop, there's a chance the camera will just instantly snap into view. So to deal with this potentially happening, what you're going to do is... Well, first let's get to this here. Good job, Sam. I'm going to aim here. I'm going to basically just mash the gadget button Andy at the same time. And if you can see, that basically happened instantly. And then you're going to move around this way. And if you see this, like, slope here, you're going to run while looking up into that, and it should zip you to the top. Sometimes it will not, however. And then you're just going to follow this pathing, essentially. Our goal is to get there. There's a lot of invisible ground right here, but you kind of have to tap left to gain height, for some reason. Like that. Our next goal is to get up there, and the way to do that is Sam will gain height if he runs along a seam like this. Not sure how well that shows. So I run a little bit past it, turn around, and then run up. And you'll notice if you move like this, he gains height. And so all you really need is one good boost up, so you can move like that, and mash space while looking up. And then you want to climb up here. Break through this door. So now, this room's going to be deloaded, except for a little bit of floor in the beginning here. Our goal is to land somewhere around there, and so what you're going to do is run over there. You'll see I get saving in the top right there. I hit a checkpoint from out of bounds, and then you reload the game. And now we're here. This skips the drone minigame as well as the cutscene of killing or sparing the guy in here. So now I want to fall down here. You want to take cover on this corner because it's going to set up for
I'll climb from here.
forced
Get the
slides.
chopper prepped for
When you're in
extraction.
a
Stand by.
low height area like this, Sam moves very slowly, as you can see, no matter what you do. What you can do is you can force Sam to slide repeatedly.
Gridiron,
So I'm going to sprint forward around this corner and then start mashing Q. You can see slides like this. And that's the fastest way to traverse low headspace areas. This section's fairly straightforward, but if you don't mind your inputs, specifically holding shift at improper times, Sam will decide to jump off everything. Probably the biggest hurdle in dealing with this game is learning to control Sam. For here I hold upright the entire time until I get to the top, and hold right, and I hold shift and spam Q. I'm going to switch to smoke grenades here. Once I get to here, start holding shift again, which gives me a chance of a big jump you can get here, which I did not get.
I'm under the bridge leading to the village.
Go out to the right here.
Sam, I'm
Make sure your
seeing
character
movement
moves
above you.
slightly to the right and then climb up. Go smoke grenade at this guy. If enemies are caught in the middle of smoke grenades, they'll often run out. Another thing is you can also use your minimap to see how enemies are acting. Like there, I knew that guy was running at me from around the corner from the minimap. So now here, what you want to do is try to do this slide spam right up into this area here.
Looks like the engineers dug out escape tunnels.
Which is fairly
Shields are
straightforward.
moving
It's actually
from flyovers.
probably one of the more frustrating tricks in the game. So now you'll get a saving point here, which will skip. If you reload, we'll skip climbing up this rope. So hold forward left and tap crouch when you get out of it.
I'm tracking that data transfer. It's ongoing, and it's
Sleep
coming
gas
from
this
the sector
guy,
the militants broke
or
down
shoot him
this
down,
summer.
it doesn't really matter. If you hit fire while running, Sam will slow down very slightly. However, if you throw a grenade, he will be fine. Try to go for another slide here. If you spam Q, this can happen. Sam will sometimes... Oh, did I soft lock?
Any
Nope, good.
update on the teams from
Sam
the
will
other side?
sometimes just
No.
get up against the
Likely
wall,
they
which is
blocked
very
out
unfortunate when it
communication
happens,
for the
because
duration
you
of the
not
op.
only lose all your momentum, you end up losing time.
Man, this place is big.
Engineers must have sent the local villagers packing a long time ago.
You think any of these guys were in on
This is a very
Blacklist
minor
I didn't hear first.
animation skip here.
Engineers are bored.
This door, Sam will open, close behind him. you know, whatnot. But you also get a checkpoint right before it, and if you load it, it will cause him to appear on this side of it. Which is faster RTA, but definitely faster game time as well. You want to run towards this area. Hold on, I'm just clearing guys for, what the hell is he? Alright, so you want to run under here, and you don't want to hold shift or else Sam will try to jump up and grab that. So once you get to here, hold down, and then see if you get lucky with the slide RNG there. That one's very inconsistent for some reason.
I'm right on top of
So don't feel bad if you miss it.
Charlie, data's still coming out of there.
Still streaming. It's got some crazy-ass encryption going on. It'll take
Monka
me
S
5-10
indeed.
minutes to know what they're sending out.
We can't wait.
So we're
This
going
is
to run
it,
around
Briggs.
here. We're not going to be doing... There is a small out of bounds here, but it's very risky because it is very inconsistent. And it does not save enough time to justify going for it, in my opinion. Especially because I'm very bad
It
at it.
definitely got hit, but not recently. I'll see what I can find out.
So we're just going to do the rest of this mission as intended. Important note, open this door by pressing space, do not run through it. It'll skip a brief cutscene.
Briggs, I need that chopper now.
And then the rest of this is fairly short.
Can't put her down. Sam, more missiles incoming.
I'm using the hook.
He's using the hook.
5 seconds. Hurry up, Sam.
Alright.
3.
And there we are. Next map is American Consumption. In my opinion, the worst map in the game. So let's see what that's all about.
Pull whatever data you can off this now.
So again, our space, click the bottom. Also, over time, or if you practice it, you'll get a feel for where each mission is, and you can hover it, essentially, before it pops up. And that should save a good amount of time menuing.
We're go for
Space,
Chicago.
enter space, escape.
Schematics say that place.
Sam, the kidnappers have been in contact with Chicago PD.
Demands?
Negative. The only thing they want is to make sure the police steer clear of the area.
Why take hostages if you don't want anything?
Down the
Over
stairs,
their heads. This might
open
not
the
be the
thing.
engineers, Sam. Dallas is still a primary for half the agency.
open the other thing, slide down, tap crouch once to make sure Sam stands up, and then slide down the pipe. There are a few flash drops here, but I don't think they save much time at all. You want to throw a smoke grenade next to the first guy and then next to these two guys at the end. You can also mark them, which is useful if you want to keep track of their position. See how they react to grenades. Kind of staggers them and they'll try to move out of it.
That's the real deal.
Make your way down here.
Any sign of the hostages?
No.
Nice.
Still think
You'll notice the next guy in this room is aggroed, so you might try to shoot at me. If he does, you'll aggro the entire next room. You can see they're already looking at me. I use a smoke grenade right about here to hide myself. There's a good chance the game might crash right here, so let's see. It did not. So, in most cases you won't have aggro here, but sometimes you will. There's two routes you can take. You can go straight down the middle and deal with a heavy in your face with a chance to one-shot you if he melees you. Or if you see those barrels, you can go to the right of them and take another path. So, for the sake of this, I'm going to go to the right. Very nice game, by the way. You can check on the minimap to your left to see the heavy is not near you. So now here, what you want to do is get onto the ladder, hold left until you see Sam start to move to the left, and once he does, mash Q. This will cause him to completely drop down,
Okay, Sam,
instead of sliding down the ladder. When he slides down the ladder, he sort of gets stuck a couple times and lags. Also, hi Ivy, how are you doing?
Grim?
It doesn't matter if you kill or spare. I'm pretty sure they're the same amount of time regardless. If I do any sort of movement, or if you notice you have problems with movement and are not sure why, you can refer back to this video to see what inputs I do, as well as the camera angle I use when moving, because the controls in this game are context sensitive. Where did that sleeping grenade go?
Sam, I think I've got
The game, by the
confirmation from
way.
the engineers.
Very consistent
Why?
game.
The flash drive. It's using a variant of DES military-grade encryption protocols. It's a direct
So we're gonna go
match
up
to the
here.
encryption used by Sadiq and Mirawa.
If you want, you can tap this guy. Doesn't make much of a difference. If he gets shots off, it's going to aggro everyone in this next area, and it's going to cause one guy to run down to you and block your path. Not him, but it's a guy that's normally on the second floor in here. He's up there. He'll be right in your way. So it's really up to you which one you want to deal with. So go through here and tap these two guys this way.
Security.
It's not just the security, it's all the systems. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
unhack their hack to
The
open
nerdy guy has
door.
to unhack
You're
their
not
hack.
getting the gunk they're putting in the water.
Work fast.
So what you're going to do is go to the right side. It's in your best interest to remain undetected. Thank you, Sam, so much for opening both of those doors.
Sam, they're pumping bioagent at 2 locations.
You can flash drop here, but it will most likely immediately draw the aggro of everyone in the area, which is very
Try
undesirable.
and shut down the outflow valve.
Because you'll most likely have to kill most of them to drop aggro, if you're unlucky. This was very bad luck, because this guy saw me. For the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to retry that to see if I can get it without him drawing aggro, because I might have waited too long.
Bioagent at 2 locations.
I'll take care of them. We can keep the contaminated water inside the plane.
I can try and shut down the outflow valve.
Do it.
Crouch
We've
about
got
here.
10 minutes
You want to
before
be
the
very
levels of
careful with
water
how
get
you move
critical.
here, because Sam is a son of a bitch in this area. I run diagonally to the right here, and I mark both of these guys. And what I want to do... Normally, this guy will be right around here so I can mark him and the heavy. And what you want to do is take out the heavy with hip fire if you can, which means removing his helmet and then shooting him once in the head to kill him. However, if you do not immediately remove his helmet and kill him, you can use the execute to kill both
I
of
got a few
them
more tricks up my sleeve.
and save yourself a little bit of time. And
Good news,
not have
Sam.
to risk
Blueprints
aggroing
show
everyone.
a service tunnel running under the control room. It'll get you from one
Nice
side
game.
of the plant to the other.
If you stay crouched here, the guy that's on top of you up there will not aggro. Because I did reload, this area's a little interesting. Wow, he just instantly fired. Alright, well anyways, you'd follow this pathing. Most of these guys wouldn't aggro. Hello, where is he? He's right there, but he doesn't want to fire at me. Get this next pump. Normally, when you get up here, the heavy will be walking up the stairs away from you and not looking at you. This one was weird,
It's
because
good
I
work, but
reloaded.
it's too late.
What now?
So you get both the
pathogen's
pumps,
already
and then
at
make your way
infection
here.
levels in the water, and the main outflow is still
And just
open.
wait at this door.
Maybe not.
If you're in combat, you will not be able to
Valve,
interact with the
I've
valve in
unlocked
here.
the manual override. Get there and you can shut it by hand.
I can right now,
On
which is
my
good.
way.
Okay, there's also another important note I should have mentioned earlier, is you have to be running this game on the Blacklist _exe version. You cannot use the DX11 version, the DX11 exe. And there's two reasons for that. One, the load remover won't work because it's for the Blacklist exe specifically. And two, it will
Engineers redirected a shipment from
it will
above.
not allow you to do the next trick we're about to do. So now we're doing private estate.
Yes, thank you. Nuri's place is gonna be.
So I'm going to immediately stand up, run to the rappel, and drop down.
We knocked the
Meanwhile, I'm
power
gonna
out.
switch to
Get me
sleeping
access
gas,
the
and then
sex
switch to
station, find
my
the junction box, and we're golden.
assault rifle.
Location.
As soon as I break through this door, I'm going to pause, hit escape, open the SMI, close the SMI, and reload last checkpoint. Sam will run through and hit the checkpoint inside that garage, which will spawn him here. The SMI thing is a manipulation for a trick we're just about to do here. It doesn't matter if that guy aggroes, as long as he doesn't aggro too early. If he aggroes too early, he'll spawn two more guys right next to that door I just went through. So now you're going to hold... Make sure you're holding sprint, and you're going to walk towards this door. If it works, Sam will hop over, and then you want to hop back inside. Now you can stand here and wait until Sam starts to drop. You'll notice we get a checkpoint. Reloading this will put you on the other side. And that skips a fairly lengthy cutscene, about 30 seconds, which is normally an unskippable cutscene. Note, you do not want to kill these guys with sleepy gas, because there's a good chance they'll just turn around and be very upset with you and like get a shot off before they actually fall asleep. You want to remain completely stealthy sneaky in this section, otherwise you have to do a backup. Oh no, I've been detected. So if that happens, you can't go in. Normally what you would do is you would run in here. Also, I'm gonna get dogs, hold on. You would run in here and interact with this. So instead, if you pull aggro, you want to jump over this ledge, flash drop here to get out of bounds, land right here. And what you're going to do is look directly at this wall and run forward to the right. Sam decides to run. Sam, go. You should hit a checkpoint that I actually missed. Wow, cool. I wanted to do that again. No over the wall sleeper, I know. Thing is, he wasn't in position for it. Like this one was, but the other one was not. So let me see if I can do this back up. If not, I'll just skip over it for now. Alright. So here, flash drop down. Really, it's not working. Alright. So I'm not familiar enough with this right now. I apologize. So I'm just going to continue with the run normally. Now we can do this. So if you stand up right here, the guy on that will see you. You can run through that entrance right there. That's risky. So now I'm going to go in here. Do the drone minigame.
Be careful, Sam. It still makes a bit of noise, and the EMPI
Make sure to hold shift to go fast.
Don't worry. I'll take you.
Shoutouts to Wolfie.
You have to go up.
Bonus swag points if you don't bump on anything and disrupt the drone's vision.
Okay, Sam, you're coming up on the
Feels
breaker
bad,
box.
man. Now, if you have a tri-rotor equipped in one of your gadget slots, which I do with this loadout, it will normally when you do this detonation here to complete this section, you'll get a screen of static for about a second. However, if you do not, it will instantly go back to gameplay.
Here we go.
I'm going to switch to I'm going to set up sleeping gas on my gadget, and then switch to a sticky cam for a flash drop onto this. If you draw aggro, don't bother with this flash drop. It saves like a fraction of a second. And now we're going to do something called the transition cancel. If Sam were to interact with this door, normally, he would open it, walk through it, and close it behind him all automatically. And that's so that the devs can optimize the game by loading the area in front of you and also deloading the level behind you simultaneously and lock you out of the previous section of the level. However, what we're going to do is use a frag grenade to interrupt this process. And so what I like to do is when I land down here, Sam will run forward a bit. And if you're running and let go of shift and then aim, it'll almost bring Sam to a dead stop. And I use that to line myself up with the right pane of this right here. And so now what I'm going to do is aim about there. I'm going to throw the grenade there. And right towards the end of the grenade detonation, or you'll hear it beeping and counting down essentially, I'm going to press space to open the door. And the idea is to interrupt the animation of Sam opening the door and leaving it wide open the entire time. So let's give it a shot. So that's pretty good. Now, if you do this and you press space and the door opens and then closes automatically, you did it too early. And if he doesn't open the door at all, you did it too late. So now what you're going to do is when you're standing up from the ouch, hooch, I just got hit by a grenade animation, you're going to hold shift and right, which will allow Sam to run at full speed into here, and then you're going to move out. You can now see everything up here is deloaded except for these quality lights.
Should be nice and bright on your goggles.
So you run in, run out, and I like to keep the camera this way, sort of looking at this wall. And if you see this slope here, that's where you're going to try to drop down onto. Now you're going to hold left and run for a bit. You're going to run down a slope and then run across this ground. And if you see this ledge here on the left, once you see that, I let go of shift and then start aiming down my sights. And what you want to do is if you're unfamiliar with where you are spatially for this trick, right now you're on top of the tunnel You escape with Nurian. You can see it down there a little bit. And if you use my setup here for movement, you'll be on the leftmost side of it, which is pretty good. And now while standing up, you're going to aim about in the center of there. You'll note, and you're going to start tapping very slight inputs to inch Sam over, because this is a pretty precise drop. If you have barely too much speed, you'll just fall into the void.
You asleep with your goggles.
And you'll have to either restart the mission, which is not advised, or go inside and do the mansion normally. And so once you get, after a few taps, you'll notice Sam drops a bit, right about there, and after 3 more inputs roughly, he will fall, like that, and you'll land just barely on top of this tunnel. Now, if you look right out here where it makes this little right angle, you want to walk over to here, aim, and then just tap to get off of it, and you'll get the checkpoint, at which point you'll reload. That's probably the hardest trick in the game, so take your time learning it. Once you get here, switch to your sleeping gas crossbow thingamajig. It'll, for some reason, when you switch to the crossbow, you'll switch to it, and then Sam will automatically switch to his pistol and then switch back to the crossbow, which is really strange. So now I'm going to walk over here, shoot right about here, look to the left and mark this guy. If he draws aggro, you will have him marked already, and all you have to do is press control to kill him, like this guy. You don't want these guys getting a shot off. It's the same as in the first mission, Safehouse, where if anyone gets a shot off, you'll have to deal with a bunch of enemies. Stealth is high priority here. So for the sake of time, I will stop here. All you have to do to complete the mission is walk towards the boat and mash space to go through cutscenes. There's an unskippable cutscene at the end of this mission, which is over a minute. So for the sake of efficiency, I will do away with that. Now we're going to go to Abandoned Mill, just up here. Abandoned Mill is a very interesting map because it's very circular.
We only have one choice.
You start at the top, kind of go down all the way to the bottom underground, and you come all the way back up to the top again. And that has an interesting implication for the speedrun. I'll elaborate more on that in a moment.
Approaching the mill.
The operatives who used Nuri's stolen passports are holed up inside.
So we're just gonna make our way downtown, grab this ledge, this metal thingy, climb up the pipe. Make sure you have the sticky cam equipped. We're going to make our way up here.
I'm on the roof.
Dug up some old blueprint. This place used to be a flour mill, so if you look in the north wing...
I want Sam to jump diagonally from that thing to this ledge. Then cap this guy. Run over here. Drop down. And you'll see this thing here. What you want to do is hop this wall right before this rubbish. And hold left until you get as far left as you can. And now you're going to flash drop. Get a checkpoint. This checkpoint will put you at the very last checkpoint of the map, which is the shootout. Woohoo, big skip. Now, this section sucks, and it will take a lot of practice to get good at, and even then it's pretty inconsistent. So, go over the gist of my strategy for it. Is you're going to use your pistol to shoot this explosive, which will stagger him and kill him, and then you're going to repeat the process on this explosive. So you're switching between the stun gun and the pistol, essentially, to kill the first 4 guys. Because they're staggering, the stun gun is complete aids, there's a good chance you'll miss like I just did there. They kind of sway back and forth. Okay, so here's something worth noting. This is great visuals for a tutorial, by the way. Okay, so if you run up to an enemy, one of these enemies in particular, and try to melee them, there's like a 99% chance, if they've already detected you and they're observing you and looking at you and whatever, that they'll just push you away. Ouch. So what you want to do instead is start shooting at them and then melee them, which will allow Sam to get his melee off first. After they're all taken care of, open this.
Sector's clear.
I'm gonna aim down here. This guy will run across, directly to the sticky shocker, turn around, same deal there, and same deal there. If that doesn't work out, it doesn't really matter, because Briggs takes fucking 10 years to get here. I probably shouldn't say fucking in a tutorial. So in addition to that, Briggs is pretty RNG heavy here. He can just stand there shooting like an idiot for 10 minutes, even though there's no enemies because you already capped them all. Or he'll run up halfway, a certain way, and then come back, and then start running again. Anyways. Or you can actually soft lock outright and just stay still the entire time, at which case you'll have to reload, and you'll probably be quite upset because you made it to the end of this and Briggs didn't let you finish. Special missions now, which is just to the right of Insurgent stronghold.
Iran won't open those doors. No.
We'll go for
So the first section of this map is pure stealth.
Disruption is
All you're going to need for it is the sleep, or not the sleep, the noisemaker for the crossbow. You're going to follow this path. So I switch to the noisemaker here, hop this fence. I'm going to shoot it behind this guy. Be very careful not to actually shoot the guy himself, or he will get knocked out, and you'll fail the mission. Because you cannot interact with any of the enemies.
Sam, it looks like the bluff worked.
I'm going to shoot one right at this wall across from me, which will draw the aggro of both guards to it.
It's for you to know I'm not Paul.
Then we run around this,
when you get inside,
shoot one against this camera wall here, to pull this guy's aggro, and then go down and repel. Once you get to this first window, pause a second, because that guy will, if he's looking forward, if you just hold S the entire time essentially and go down, he will see you. You'll fail. So after that, just go down.
37% probability. Watch your back.
So now you have to wait here. Okay, so another thing worth mentioning. God, I'm so bad about this. I should have like made notes beforehand. If you have VSync on, you're good. I'll cap your game at 60 FPS, assuming you have a 59 or 60 hertz monitor. So that's ideal. Sam will control a lot better if that is the case. So I'm getting ahead of myself in terms of gameplay here, so if your VSync is off, you can get pretty mad frames in this game, like upwards of 200, 300 frames per second. And this causes AI to bug, as well as there to be a particular soft lock for this thing I just did. Like that guy will just walk against this wall for a bit and then clip through the wall, and then the guy you're supposed to be escorting will turn into an enemy and detect you and make you fail the mission because quality programming. So anyways, once he finishes that conversation, he'll wave you over, at which point you'll go and wait behind him until he starts moving. Right now I'm going to switch to Sticky Shocker and make sure my hand-to-hand is set to non-lethal. Non-lethal is very important for later, as it allows us to do fancy skips. So you can beat this guy into this door, and what I'm going to do is run past him with the lasers. I'm going to stand right before this line, and as soon as his foot crosses this line, I'm going to run to the door. He opens it, and then we're going to get a checkpoint here and reload. If you hold D, you'll be out in the center of the room. Throw a smoke grenade, and then run in through here. Now we're just going to run up the stairs for a bit. I'm going to switch to a frag grenade. Actually, that probably doesn't matter. Nice bounce.
Okay, I see an elevator, but it's sealed off. You don't have the RFID tag to get through.
So about VSync, if you have like a 144 Hz monitor, it'll probably give you too much frames per second. At which case you'll probably want to use an external program like DX3 to cap your frame rate to 60 or something around there. There's no benefit to having higher frame rate. Sam doesn't move faster, it makes him harder to control, and it can cause soft locks. So now for this section, you saw me cap everyone on my way up the stairs. The way these doors work in this level is, and the enemies have to get close to them for them to open, so what I'm going to do is shoot it to draw his aggro. If you look at the minimap, he gets these little parentheses around him, which means he's aggroed. That was very fortunate luck there that he just immediately ran to it. Sometimes you'll run back and cower in the other end of this room and aim at the door instead of being nice.
Grim, heading to vault level. Sit rep.
So next up is a pretty
Monitoring
inconsistent
their
trick.
commo.
There's
They're calling in a quick reaction force. They'll be sweeping
there's
the
actually a
building for
few
you
outcomes
floor
you
by
can
floor.
get.
Copy that. Charlie, walk me through the decryption vault.
Batemate
There's a
says,
search
if you have an
algorithm on the
NVIDIA
portable
graphics card, you can use
drive
NVIDIA
It'll
control
find
panel
and
to
pull
limit your
anything
FPS
they've
as
got
well.
on Zeke or
Thank
the
you very
Blacklist.
much.
Plug
How
it
you
in
doing,
and
dude?
encrypt the data.
Should.
It will. It will.
Anyways, so what you're going to do is as you exit this, you're going to switch to a frag grenade
Sam, you're
and
coming
your
up on the signals vault.
sticky
You
shocker.
got a couple of options. Okay, quiet. You go
You
to the
can't
cooling
actually
system underneath
change
the vault.
anything
Loud,
while you're
you go to
on
the terminal with the back
this
of the room
elevator
and hack
because
the
this
vault
game
door
is
open.
amazingly well programmed. You can keep track of how far you are up here. You want to get up there. And so this trick will either work very well, or fail. And so here we're going to go through. We're going to hug the right side and then take this guy hostage by holding E.
Metals won't do you.
Now with the sticky shocker equipped, you want to shoot this window, which will cause it to break instantly. 6 PM, nice. Alright, and then switch to your pistol. So the particular setup I'm going to show here has a chance of being pretty fast if something happens. You're going to walk into this corner that you create by shooting out the glass. You're going to look at this vertical shadow here. I have high graphics settings on, so if it doesn't look the same, that's why. After that, you're going to turn around and look here. You can use the shadow of the doors reference. You're going to aim just below where that is. You're going to throw a grenade, and then make sure your hand-to-hand is set to non-lethal. And then start mashing knockout as soon as you do. This will cause Sam to stagger, usually backwards. And if he does that, he'll fall down like this and ragdoll. So what can happen, like in my current PB run, is there's a chance you will clip through the ground if you have a particular falling animation and you hit the ground dead on. It's kind of hard to describe, at which case you'll clip through the ground and fall below to a black void that happens to have a floor plane. At which point you'll run from there all the way over to there. Sam will hop over invisible stuff, and then you'll get a checkpoint. And you'll reload the game to get into the next section. So anyways, the checkpoint's right around here, normally, and you have to hit that to spawn enemies as well as to cause the next part of the level to load. So get your sleep gas ready, got the saving, and a heavy will greet us through this door. You want to throw a sleep and then pop his helmet off, which will cause him to sleep. And then make your way down the stairs. So the out-of-bounds checkpoint that you hit will be... There's a guy right here, I have to make sure to get him. Jesus. I want to get this guy. Just to be sure. Where is he? If this happens, this could be unfortunate, because guys who are... That guy shooting in this previous area, if you go into the next area, will also cause all the guards in the next area to aggro, which makes that section very painful. So if you hit the checkpoint from out of bounds, it'll be this checkpoint right here, and you'll spawn right there. You'll spawn right there, except all static objects will be deloaded, which is super fun for navigating. So when I get through here, and when you do, you're going to have to deal with another RFID door, which just means shoot this wall to aggro this guy. Then you can deal with him and get through.
I'm in the foyer, headed out of the building.
Sam, there's a security gate
Our next
on your
goal is to
exfil
interact
route
with this
through the
computer.
gardens. You should be near a security control room. Access the terminal inside and we'll override the doors.
Let me take a look and see what it lets me access. Oh, nice. All right, I got this, Sam. Just give me a minute and I'll open up an
I
exit
think
for you.
for...
Grim, where are we with X?
In the case of this tutorial, I will skip over
Shit.
the drone sections,
We've got even more reinforcements inbound. Charlie, you need to move faster.
just for the sake of time, because they're exactly the same as casual play.
That's what's odd. Channels
There's
are
nothing
clear.
special about them, you just shoot the things and you win.
To avoid embarrassment. You
What I like to do
still need
here
get
is
outbound,
wait
Sam. You're
with my
dealing
back
with
against
Iranian
this
special
wall,
forces and you're out of time.
and as the door starts to open up, I'm going to sprint forward and try to slide underneath it for a very minuscule time save,
On my way.
like
Keep
this.
working on how I'm gonna get down.
They're going to run forward and throw one smoke near the door, so you can try to get out with as little damage as possible. Make sure not to get into melee range of the heavy, because if heavy's melee you, there's a chance it just one-shots you. So now you want to run out here,
Sam.
Where are we with X?
hug the left
Briggs is
side.
en route in a van.
Briggs?
about it after he gets
This
you the
isn't
hell
good.
out of there.
Oh, nice, everything happened. So, I would recommend, especially since you're using endgame time, is to reload there, just to make sure nothing's aggroed.
We'll fight about it
Pip
after
sleep
he gets you the
gas.
hell out of there. Meet him on the far side of the exterior.
You're gonna
guard.
fall down this left side.
There's hostiles between you and the van. Looks like they're wearing heavy combat armor.
This guy will aggro, and there's gonna be a dog ahead. It's somewhere. You don't really know where. There he is. And you want to throw a couple sleep ahead of you. And so now this is where the mission will go to the drone section after playing a couple cutscenes. And so that's essentially the end of this. So I'm going to skip ahead to transit yards now. Just right here, to the right of American consumption. When transit yards starts, basically after you mash through the first cutscene, what you're going to do is sprint to the right and mash Q,
Good track.
Land the plane.
and that'll put Sam down the first ledge.
Popping smoke is up.
Smash through this, hold right, mash Q.
Sam, get
He
to
goes
that
down the
first bomb
ledge.
before it
Very
detonates.
clean. I like to double dash under here, melee down this guy. I want to snipe this far guy before he gets down, which I could not pull off that time. Seems you ran over here. No wait, we did get him. Nice. So you're gonna deal with the guy on the right. Dash under here. Deal with the two guys on the right. Wow, actually. Guy on the left, guy on the left. There's a good chance Briggs might take out one, which is always fun. So now here's the worst section in the game. Notice how there are multiple of those.
Copy that. Find the van. You find the nerve gas. Find the nerve gas.
So Briggs is very weak. He dies very quickly. He's not as strong as our boy Sam. So because of that, you want to maintain stealth, as well as stealth just generally being faster.
He's down. Vans are a good
Hi,
match
Wolfie.
for what Charlie picked up on the trap.
You want to kill these guys in this order.
Another one down.
Note, if you reload your gun, sprinting or aiming down sights will interrupt it. And something interesting is, as long as the number changes, you can interrupt the animation. So I can do this. As soon as it hits 31, I can aim and start shooting again. And so now we have to deal with the RNG, which is this guy here. We're going to fire in short controlled bursts to make sure he dies. And then do the same for this guy, and then the guy on the right. It's coming out of this elevator. If you happen to get into aggro before this elevator opens, there will be a heavy inside it as well, which is very not fun. In addition, there's another guy over there, which we did not aggro, luckily, so we can just open this door.
I've reached the bomb.
Also, hi Wolfie. I'm not sure if I said that already or not.
Rim.
Section's
Sam,
also fairly straightforward.
Priming the bomb on the other side of
We're
that
playing as
viaduct.
Sam again. You want to throw a smoke over here to so the heavy loses sight of you. Make sure to control Sam in such a way where you don't climb up on the train. Now there's a good chance when you kick open this door, the heavy will be right on the other side and you'll die instantly, like that. When you open this door, make sure to turn your camera this way and run to the left. If you run straight, there's a chance Sam will just try to take cover there, which is suck.
It's empty. The bomb's
take this
already been
line.
loaded onto the train.
And you're pretty much going to run in a straight line to the objective, but you're going to throw a bunch of smokes here. You can pretty much toss the rest of them because you don't need them anymore. Run towards that sniper, mindful of the mine placement on the grounds. And then interact with
Shutting the
this.
device down.
There's a chance Sam can get really glitchy when interacting with this, so if you want to, stand right in front of it, aim down at it through sights, and then interact with it. That seems to hedge your bets.
Device deactivated.
That was fast.
So now, here's the roundhouse. I'm going to sprint forward, and you're going to take this exact line, which, if you do it properly, will cause the guy on the right to start to aggro, but not quite.
Second floor entrance
I'm going
to
to get
the
to here,
roundhouse.
turn to the right and mash space to get up,
Way in.
turn left,
Roger that. Thanks.
shoot this guy, go through.
I'm at
Now
the
the
roundhouse. Where the hell is
main
the bomb?
RNG here is the heavy. You can either instantly kill him,
Engineers are mounting it on
take a lot of time to
computer
kill him,
crane
or die to him. So aim down sights. It's going to be in 2 shots. For the sake of safety, I'm going to turn and kill the guy on the right as well. Those are the only relevant enemies here. If you take damage,
Come on, come on. We've done this once before.
Sam.
it can be
all
bad.
devices
So now we're on the train bit. want to have your sleep gases ready.
Stay down if you don't want to get hurt.
Mostly want to use sleep gas to get through here. And then go out the window on the right.
You can't stay out there long, Sam. You're gonna hit the tunnel.
Interesting, Wolfie. You want to go through the second window, otherwise you're sandwiched between two guys who will have fun meleeing you. For some reason, Sam will automatically crouch there. For one last sleep, and once you make it to the end of this last card, you just have to wait for the mission ends. Easy peasy.
It's like wire transfer has been received.
Next is detention facility, aka Guantanamo Bay, aka Gitmo.
I need you to sync up with Grim and Sharp.
All the guys in there?
So this mission is the aka the Wolfie Gets Lost level, correct. So, right after this cutscene where you see Sam sitting here, you want to start holding W. And now you're just going to hold W for the next few, like the next minute or so, probably.
Just past the wreck area. I'll kill the power, give you some shadows for cover.
Look at the back of Briggs' head.
Boys with CIA
That's what you
special
fancy?
interrogators. You're on a dinner break, so you've got some time.
Rendezvous at the boat.
If I can get one.
If?
You pulled the trigger last minute, I gotta make plans in the trenches.
That weak skull. Yeah. This guy dies to one bullet in the head. Ridiculous. How'd you even become a special agent like this?
You'll pull it off.
What makes you so sure?
You have to.
So now coming up, there's a little cutscene where you have to kill or spare Nori. Doesn't particularly matter which one you choose. The only thing that matters is you want to make sure the screen fully fades in first before choosing either one, or else you get a super rare soft lock, which I'm going to try to make happen here, so you'll know what it looks like.
Got
So
yourself.
I'm going to mash the kill option.
Please stop! Like.
So that's probably going to cause it. And what you're going to see is after you run here and open this door, probably there it is. So now I can still exist in the level, but it's trying to play this cutscene for some reason. So what I'm going to do is just reload last checkpoint. If that happens, it's not much time loss at all. Because I reloaded, this area is going to be a little different. I want to shoot this guy. You can aim down sights if you want. Normally this guy will be like up here tinkering with this thing, and if that's the case, you can just crouch and run behind him. This guy's doing the same right now. This next section, you want to follow this pathing pretty closely. Go around here, run up to here, climb around,
Did you hear that?
and then drop down here.
Now seriously.
Go around this table. You'll probably have to shoot this guy with the thing. Yep. Then climb over. So there's two ways to get through here. There's the safe way and the peach way. I'll just go ahead and show you the peach way. Just crouch and go around to the right. I want to stay crouched the entire time without getting too close to this guy on the left. Otherwise he'll instantly detect you. It's probably a couple seconds difference, so I'd highly recommend doing it. It's okay to aggro that guy as long as you run into this cutscene. You won't get a shot off in time to fail you the mission. Switch to your sleepy gas, and don't turn off the light switch.
The guards are friendly.
Path around this way, throw it between these two, and then you're going to throw a smoke over where this guy's at. Or Sam will get a rare glitch, where instead of throwing the grenade... Oh yeah, Peach is, it's Finnish for bitch strats. Because it is the word bitch as pronounced by someone from Finland. I actually don't know the exact country. Something like that, though. So you're gonna go this way, tossing a bunch of sleeps wherever.
Make for camp
You're gonna drop down
You're
here.
almost home free.
He's right there.
I did not have the proper gun equipped, otherwise you'd just shoot this guy with the
Sam, I'm seeing a possible
sticky
zipline
shocker.
approach for you to
Climb up
take.
here and take
It
the
definitely beats dodging guard
rope down.
Easy there.
This section doesn't really matter. As soon as you drop down here, all these people will de-aggro.
Is inbound. Their SOP is shoot to kill.
I'm at Camp X-ray.
There's gonna be one dog here. It'll either spawn here, there, or around the corner there. You want to put it to sleep. You don't want to kill it because it is considered an American soldier and you'll fail the mission. It's important that you kill it. You kill it non-lethally.
Keep following the shoreline.
Switch to stick camera in preparation for a flash drop. Ranker Z. God rest his soul. So you're gonna get all the way into this corner and then drop down, then hold down right, and then you flash drop. Puts you on top of the water. You wanna go around the rocks. And then run to the end of the level. This level transition is interesting because it immediately puts you into the airstrip. And airstrip has it's pretty fast paced with how I'm about to do it. So I'll sort of say it as I go. If you reload a checkpoint here, it'll cause enemies to spawn faster, which, if you're familiar with the setup for how to deal with that, it could be to your benefit and save a little bit of time, in-game time at least. And otherwise, I'm going to show you how I do it on fresh load of the area. Hashtag fresh load. So, I'm going to pause so I can think this through in my head. You're going to stand up, start sprinting to where I go. You're going to switch to sleep gas grenades, and you're going to switch to either your pistol or your machine gun. It doesn't really matter. Probably the machine gun, which is a very, very bad machine gun compared to the one we normally use, like the SC4000 or something. So it's very unreliable. And we'll mostly do this section with grenades, if done properly. So I switched all the proper things. I'm going to aim right here at this gas can. As soon as Sam is forced to crouch, I'll throw one there and throw one over the plane. That should sleep all of the current enemies. Run a little bit this way, throw another one. I missed someone. I'm just going to continue as if I didn't. Throw one here, towards this white sign on the ground. That'll sleep these guys. And then these cars will either spawn here or to the other side. This is a train wreck though, to be honest. This is a very hard section to get consistent. And then two more trucks will spawn over here. You know, I'm gonna throw more grenades. If you did everything properly, you'll see the objective marker appear in there.
I think we're clear.
That was pretty decent,
Confirmed. Let's get everyone on board and get out of here.
but it's a rough section. I'd recommend watching people's PV videos on how to do it. So yeah, and I'm not gonna go ahead and do that because all you do is another like auto scroller where you shoot things. So now we're going to go to the RNG terminal. This mission can start one of two ways, either good or bad. Because it starts with you facing a wave of enemies essentially, and whether or not they immediately all aggro onto you and start shooting is seems to be random. At least if you want to be quick about it. You can probably wait around and to manipulate them.
Pilot is dropping to half an angel. Reducing speed.
But the way I do it makes it random. Here. Dropping into a volcano, by the way.
Copy. Here we go.
So you can hold movement inputs during loading screens, but you can't hold shift and have the game recognize it.
Engineers?
Affirmative.
So if I draw aggro, I'll use a mix of smoke grenades and sleeping gas, throwing them along my path as I move forward. So now I'm going to hold forward and left, which will cause me to start moving, and then I'll switch to holding shift as I load in. Once loading in the bottom right goes away, I'll start holding shift usually. So you want to follow this path. That was good RNG, by the way. I got no one aggroed onto me. The smokes were probably entirely useless.
Grim, find me the lead engineer.
As fast as I can.
I'm seeing a lot of hostiles up ahead.
Sam, that section of the plant is a maze.
Oh, there's this one.
Advantage.
I always do.
Now we're going to switch to incendiary grenades.
Just keep moving.
We're going to do another forced slide here. So we're going to hold this, shift and forward, and then mash Q,
Heads to
and
fire
then open this door at
station.
the
First
end.
responders got pinned down right out front.
This section sucks.
The fires are burning out of control.
You can try to set up as much as you want, but it's ultimately RNG where the enemies spawn.
Get back to work safely.
Kill that guy, aim at this pole, throw an incendiary, run around here, aim at the left side of this box, throw an incendiary.
And the hostiles are
Function of the incendiaries is to kill the heavies. And then you want to use your mini-map to aim as best you can, or like to figure out where enemies are at. That was actually a really good section. I missed someone. Who did I miss? I didn't see anyone on the map. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's one guy way back there. Alright, now we're good. If you do it all properly,
Area around the fire station's clear.
Grim will say, Sam, sit rep,
still hunting the
and then
lead
you want to run over
engineer.
here towards these dots on the grounds. Kind of move around them to make sure you hit the load trigger to start the cutscene.
If you can make the run to the terminal building, Sam, Charlie can shut the flow of gas down.
There's certain movement things I do, such as running diagonally and then letting go of shift and reapplying it when I'm turning corners. And that's to make sure that Sam doesn't try to hop over any ledges as I run by them. And also it might tighten up his movement. If you want to grab this pipe, the easiest way I found to do is to aim up at it and then press space.
I've managed to hack into the engineer's
Sometimes you'll try to
combo
crawl
on the
over
terminal.
that, which
You
is
wanna
bad.
listen?
Dash me through.
Then drop down here. Repel once, wait a small moment, and then do it again. Otherwise you'll just jump in place.
Great. The control room
Ready
is
a
on the
sticky
top
can,
floor.
which will be for in a bit. Go up here.
I'm in the control room.
And once you interact with this,
Remote access from the SMR.
go ahead and reload, because you get a checkpoint. What you can do is when you hit reload last checkpoint, the game actually continues playing for a few moments, and during this time it can activate like the triggers you hit. And so essentially what you can do is interact with this and then immediately quit out, and you'll get the reload done properly instead of waiting to see that it's in the top right corner.
I'm opening the door. Stop.
However, I do not advise that, because if you mess it up you lose a lot more time than you could potentially gain.
Got your
So what
back.
you're going to do is flash drop here. This will cause all the heavies in the next room to stay in this hallway. As you can see, they're all right here looking at me if you look by the minimap. I'm going to throw one incendiary. And that will blow up a good amount of them through the wall. You have to be careful though, because they stay in here but their AI is active. If you get shot with a shotgun blast as well as running over the flaming bodies, you'll take quite a bit of damage. So take the fast rope down.
He's making a run for it.
I'm after
Run past this guy. Ready a sleep gas grenade. This is only a pretty minor time save, so don't worry too much if you don't get it. But fire by the way. We're going to throw it before we take the zip line down, in hopes that we get this guy with it. Got him. And this will allow us to get through this section faster. Normally it forces a lethal takedown on that guy, which is pretty slow. Slide to this once you get close. It's a very minor time save. Equip a grenade of your choice, preferably not frag or incendiary. And what you're going to do is, as you run off this edge, right before you get there, you're going to throw the grenade, which will cause Sam to go down without the animation. Surprisingly, that's the only application of that I can find. Like right here, it won't work, for example. It still does the animation.
Hang on.
And that's found by beacons.
Alright, hang on.
So that is LNG terminal. Make sure to kill the guy, so you get to see angry Sam. I'm not sure what I did, but I pulled something out of him, and I'm pretty sure he was going to die either way if that was the case. Anger. What the fuck?
Resource transfer
There's no way that was gold.
complete.
Did we raise the president yet?
Still trying.
So now, when side F loads, very slight time save, you don't have to go and filter missions at the bottom because it's already the most current mission because it is the last one, so you can just, as soon as you get in, press this, and there it is. And then get ready to go for Denver. You're just gonna mash Space and Enter here for a while, essentially. While everyone says go for Denver.
Go for Denver.
Go for Denver. Go for Denver.
Grim, what are our chances?
Coben, what's our status?
Go for Denver.
What do we do now?
So spoiler alerts, we're going to be playing as Briggs for the first part of this mission. What you're going to do is start running, equip a smoke, and once you pass this thing, you're going to throw one smoke in front of you, and run towards that white light over there,
Delta's boarding the plane, and I don't
reasonably
have
high up. This is just to avoid the aggro of snipers.
It handles the bunker's climate control. Find a way to cut through the
Slide into this.
inside the bunker. Then plug
Climb.
in those 3 flash drives I gave you. Get the virus.
Once you go through this door, crouch.
After that, you gotta get into the crawl space under the
Your crouch speed is probably like
the lockdown sequence from there.
85 to 90% of your sprinting speed. That's actually probably an overestimate. You want to use the rest of your smokes there. I wasn't paying attention, so I started doing it late. You're going to take the fast rope down, and you're going to reload, and you're going to hold left, spawn in. It's important that you're crouching when you do this. So you're going to do a flash drop right here. Stand up, and then chill in this corner for a bit. You want that to move to the side. Then you can crawl around. And then climb up here. What you're going to do is drop down once, and then just hold right. You're going to want to reload the game here to get a better cycle, and spam Q as you load in to drop down. Go around, get onto the ladder and wait at the top. Now you'll notice, I'm not sure if you can see my, actually I'm almost positive you can't see my cursor. There's a laser at the very bottom, and as soon as it touches the right side of the ladder, you're going to press Q to drop down. Same will slide all the way down, just press Q once, don't mash, it might bug out or something. And then you're going to hold right and climb in to the vent. So Q, hold right, climb in. You want to try to throw a sleep gas grenade down here. I fucked up though. Otherwise you can just shoot this guy normally. And this guy. It's best if you don't draw aggro. You sleep for everything. Drawing aggro causes these 2 Black Ops guys to spawn. I did not want to use that sleep gas there, but I'm fine with that. You're going to crawl over here, and you're going to get as far to the right as you can, and then flash drop. A rare bug can occur where it does not allow Sam to enter the camera of that. I'm not sure what causes it, but you'll have to reload. And now, you'll see there's this blast up wall here, but for some reason you can vault over this, which will cause a, what is normally like something that loads in the background as you're playing through this level to load all at once. And that skips a good amount. So now you're going to drop down here, and as soon as you drop down, reload. I'm gonna grab this. If you now, looking at your minimap here in the bottom left, you can see they'll either spawn opposite of each other or next to each other walking down the hall. In this case, they spawn walking down the hall together because they're BFFs. But if they are on opposite sides, just take them out. You want to remain stealthy the entire time here. I mark this heavy as I approach him, and then I try to take him out. If I cannot take him out in time, I will execute him, just to ensure that I stay out of combat and he doesn't get a shot off. Here you want to switch to your pistol, and if you have aim assist on, it's very useful. Just in general, by the way. Switch to EMP shaft. Take out... What? What? That was weird. So EMP shaft will... Nice. Allow you to take out this camera. and maybe this drone if you shoot around next to it. Or if you shoot it directly, it just fucking explodes, so that's pretty sneaky. If this guy is hiding behind this box, he will most likely melee you as you run by him. Speaking of melee, hello friends. Open this. You're going to mash Q to slide through, and then interact with this. You're now going to essentially just brain dead mash E in space the entire time. Until you're playing as Sam again.
Why isn't air circulating? Do you copy?
Oh God.
You have not thought this one through. You.
I'm gonna snap this guy's neck.
This is Majid Sadiq.
Sadiq has Briggs now, so Sam's gotta save the day. I mark these guys for fun, for literally no other reason.
If they leave Denver, it's all over.
Basically just
Stop
mash
them
E
any way
to
you
make
can.
sure you take them out as soon as you can. Now there's a direct line from me to over here, to where those two are. However, if you go straight there, you get an extra cutscene, which is slow. So what you want to do instead is take a detour around to the right here, and slide under that, and then walk into this.
Go, get Sadiq.
Like half a second after loading in here, you'll notice you get a checkpoint. If you reload this, it'll put you in the last cover. Then you want to draw Sadiq's aggro here, and then hide on the left side. Once your ghost appears on the left, you're going to aim over here, and run up and take, use melee on him to take him. I don't want to say take him hostage, because you just got into a fight, really. And then shoot him. So I'll do that one more time, without pausing. So you run around. Ghost appears, out, get him. That's a pretty consistent method for me. If Sam gets stuck on the box when you try to run around it, make sure you're aiming enough to the right. Here's a slight possible time save you can get here. It's about 4 seconds. Once Sam stands up, you want to start moving towards the objective slightly, and then you're going to aim down sights with right click and start walking backwards. You want to hit this box that I'm touching right now, this one here, while you're moving backwards, and then move to the left of it, which will cause Sadiq to immediately attack you. So yeah, make sure not to miss the E-press boss, the hardest boss in the game. And then mash. And then you're done. I'm gonna play through 2 cutscenes, and then I have to exercise the 5th freedom. Timing stops when you press E. That is Splinter Cell Blacklist, the most current strats at the moment. So I still probably missed a lot of little things, but hopefully that will serve as enough of a tutorial to get you started. So yeah, thanks for watching.